In a world where technology connects us more than ever before, why do we feel more isolated and fragmented? Could our relentless pursuit of rationality and progress be dimming the lights of our collective consciousness? Join us as we explore the intricate dance between the rational and the mystical, the living and the dead, and discover how our understanding of consciousness might hold the key to humanity's evolution. Welcome to our deep dive into the synthesis of scientific and spiritual pursuits, the role of consciousness in the universe, and what it means to be truly connected in today's world. We'll explore profound ideas from collective unconscious to the modern day digital echo chambers that shape our reality. In our hyper-connected world, the promise of genuine connection often feels like a mirage. Our phones and social media segregate us into echo chambers, perpetuating our deepest beliefs and isolating us from diverse perspectives. This phenomenon not only fragments our social fabric, but also narrows our understanding of the world and of ourselves. Consider the rise of social media influencers, who often project a facade of authenticity to amass followers and monetize their online presence. This facade can lead to superficial sense of connection among their audience, who may feel connected to the influencer but remain isolated from the genuine, reciprocal human interaction. In an era where everyone is striving to present their most authentic selves online, we risk becoming caricatures of authenticity. This societal push for genuineness can turn us into fools, as our search for validation distorts our true selves. This phenomenon isn't new. Historically, public figures and leaders have often crafted personas to appeal to the masses. Ancient Roman politicians, for example, would project images of piety and strength to gain favor, a practice not unlike today's social media branding. The result is often disconnection between the public image and the private reality, leading to the disillusionment among the followers. Our rational minds and their quest for progress often neglect the mystical. The brighter the light of reason, the darker the shadow of the unconscious. Spiritual charlatans exploit this void, offering hollow promises of enlightenment. Yet true spiritual experience cannot be substituted by mere belief. They demand inner transformation. When we encounter genuine spiritual masters, like Zen masters recognizing each other on the road, we sense a profound truth that transcends superficial authenticity. The phenomenon of spiritual charlatanism can be traced back to ancient times. In the 19th century, the rise of spiritualism in Europe and America saw many mediums claiming to communicate with the dead, often exploiting the grief and curiosity of their followers. This era also gave birth to notable skeptics and researchers, like Harry Houdini, who dedicated their lives to debunking the fraudulent spiritualists. Carl Jung's concept of collective unconscious suggests that our psyche has a relative temporal and spatial character. This means that phenomena like ESP are manifestations of our shared unconscious mind. The dead, rather than being all-knowing, depend on the living for their further development, highlighting the interdependence of consciousness across the boundaries of life and death. Jung's ideas were revolutionary, suggesting that our minds are not isolated, but interconnected through a vast, shared unconscious. This concept challenges the materialistic view of the mind and opens up possibilities for understanding phenomena that science has yet to explain fully. One historical example is the ancient Greek belief in the Oracle of Delphi. The Pythia, or priestess, would enter a trance-like state, supposedly channeling a message from the god Apollo. While modern interpretations may view as a form of collective unconscious expression, it illustrates the historical acknowledgement of interconnected consciousness. tension between rationality and mysticism is ever present. While our rational minds dismiss the mystical experience as irrational, these experiences reveal deeper truths about our existence. The more rational we become, the more vibrant and alive the spectral world of the unconscious grows. This duality is essential for our understanding of the universe. The division between good and evil is artificial. Hate is merely a projection of the parts of ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge. Consider the dualistic and non-dualistic views of the world. In a dualistic view, we see the world in terms of binary oppositions, good versus evil, rational versus irrational. However, in a non-dualistic perspective, these divisions are seen as artificial constructs. Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism and Taoism, emphasize the unity of all things, teaching that distinctions between good and evil are a product of the mind. Historically, this tension is evident in the conflict between science and religion during the Enlightenment. While scientific revolution brought about remarkable advancements, it also led to devaluation of mystical experiences. Enlightenment's emphasis on reason and empirical evidence often clashed with the more subjective, introspective approaches of spirituality. Social dynamics, as demonstrated by Milgram's obedience experiments and Ash's conformity experiments, show how easily people can be swayed by authority and group dynamics. When individuals feel they have no choice, they can become complicit in evil acts, even if they are not inherently evil themselves. The Milgram experiment, conducted in the 1960s, reveals the extent to which people would obey authority figures, even when instructed to perform actions that conflicted with their personal morals. Similarly, Ash's conformity experiment showed how group pressure could lead individuals to conform to incorrect judgments, highlighting the powerful influence of social dynamics on behavior. Our society's tendency to keep people in a state of materialistic skepticism prevents them from opening their minds to greater possibilities. This skepticism reinforces in-group out-group dynamics and limits our collective growth. The philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti famously remarked that it is no measure of health to be well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society. His words underscore the importance of questioning societal norms and seeking deeper truths beyond the superficial values often promoted by mainstream culture. We are often presented with an illusion of choice, where our options are narrowly defined, and we become addicted to the superficial pleasures these choices offer. Addiction, in this sense, is a progressive narrowing of what brings us joy. True growth comes from seeking meaningful experiences rather than fleeting pleasures. Productivity without meaning leads to a hollow existence. The concept of addiction as a narrowing of pleasure can be understood through a lens of modern consumer culture. We are bombarded with choices, from endless array of products to the constant stream of entertainment. However, these choices often lead to a shallow gratification rather than deep fulfillment. Historically, the idea of seeking pain for growth has roots in various spiritual traditions. Ascetic practices such as fasting, meditation, and physical austerities are found in religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity. These practices are believed to purify the mind and body, leading to a spiritual enlightenment and inner strength. The evolution of consciousness is not just a possibility, it's an absolute necessity. Studying consciousness and understanding its intricacies can transform our lives and society. When we don't trust ourselves, we seek strong leaders, often to our detriment. The path to enlightenment is fraught with challenges, but it's essential for our collective growth. Throughout history, periods of social upheaval and uncertainty have often given rise to authoritarian leaders. These strongmen promise stability and order, but often at a cost of individual freedoms and deeper understanding. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned of the dangers of herd mentality and the rise of tyrants. He believed that true enlightenment comes from individuals' journey of self-discovery and overcoming societal constraints. This journey involves confronting one's shadow self, the parts of our psyche that we suppress or deny. Modern studies in psychology and neuroscience continue to explore the nature of consciousness, shedding light on how our minds perceive and interact with the world. Researchers like Dr. Stanislav Grof and Dr. Rick Strassman have investigated altered states of consciousness through methods like psychedelics and deep meditation, revealing insights into the human psyche and its potential for growth. As technology advances, it reshapes our consciousness in ways both profound and subtle. The rapid pace of innovation, from artificial intelligence to virtual reality, offers unprecedented opportunities and challenges. Our digital lives often create a paradox of connection and isolation, expanding our horizons while narrowing our immediate social circles. Historically, technological revolutions have always reshaped society. The printing press democratized knowledge, the Industrial Revolution transformed economies, and the Internet Revolution has redefined communication. However, with each advancement comes the risk of unintended consequences. The current digital revolution has led to a world where our attention is constantly fragmented and our capacity for deep, reflective thought is diminished. The constant barrage of information from the 24-hour news cycle and social media platforms like TikTok creates an environment where attention spans are short and meaningful engagement is rare. This phenomenon leaves space for despots and tricksters to manipulate information and control narratives. Social integration is crucial for the evolution of consciousness. Throughout history, social movements have driven significant changes by fostering unity and collective action. The civil rights movement, the fight for women's suffrage, and the environmental movements are all examples of how collective consciousness can lead to a profound societal transformation. Despite living in an increasingly individualistic world, recognizing our unity is essential. The rise of global movements like climate activism and social justice underscores the power of collective action. These movements remind us that our destinies are intertwined and that true progress comes from working together. The philosopher Martin Buber emphasized the importance of genuine dialogue and relationships in his concepts of I-Thou interactions. He believed that true human connection and understanding come from seeing others as a whole being rather than objects to be used. This perspective is vital in fostering social integration and collective growth. The evolution of consciousness is not just an abstract concept, but a pressing necessity. As we face global challenges such as climate change, political instability, and social inequality, evolving our collective consciousness is crucial. This evolution involves expanding our awareness, deepening our empathy, and fostering a sense of global unity. In times of crisis, human choice matters more than ever. Our decisions, individually and collectively, shape the future of our planet and our species. We must move beyond the illusion of choice created by consumer culture and seek deeper, more meaningful path. Historically, periods of significant change have often been accompanied by shifts in consciousness. The Renaissance, for example, was a time of remarkable cultural and intellectual growth, driven by renewed interest in human potential and creativity. Similarly, the Enlightenment brought about a new era of reason and scientific inquiry, challenging old paradigms and expanding our understanding of the world. Embracing the shadow self, the parts of us that we often suppress or deny, is vital for personal and collective growth. Psychologist Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow, emphasizing that confronting and integrating these aspects of ourselves leads to wholeness and enlightenment. Hate and prejudice often stem from projecting our shadow selves onto others, but recognizing and integrating these parts, we can overcome the division and foster unity. This process requires courage and honesty, as it involves facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves. In ancient cultures, the shadow self was often explored through myth and storytelling. Greek tragedies, for instance, depicted heroes confronting their flaws and inner demons, reflecting universal struggles of human condition. These stories served as moral and psychological lessons, guiding individuals towards self-awareness and growth. The future of consciousness and society depends on our ability to integrate the rational and the mystical, the individual and the collective. By fostering a deeper understanding of our interconnectedness and embracing both the light and the shadow aspects of our psyche, we can create a more harmonious and enlightened world. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, it's essential to remember that true health and well-being come from aligning with deeper truths and values. We must challenge societal norms that promote superficial success and seek paths that lead to genuine fulfillment and collective growth. The philosopher Alan Watts often spoke about the need to balance the rational and the mystical. He believed that true wisdom comes from recognizing the limitations of rational thought and embracing the mysteries of existence. His teachings encourage us to find harmony between our intellectual pursuits and spiritual explorations. In our quest for a better world, human choice matters more than ever. We must move beyond the illusion of choice and superficial pleasures towards more meaningful connections and a deeper understanding of our collective consciousness. By embracing both the rational and the mystical, we can navigate the complexities of modern life and find true unity. Let us seek wisdom in the shadows, embrace the unknown, and strive for a future where our collective consciousness guides us towards a harmony and enlightenment.
Please do not subscribe. You have too much going on. This might mess with your algorithm. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you may find my channel again. Until next time, friend.